First of all, let's just have a look back on a 2022 that has been a bit eventful for everyone with the club. What's it been like for you?
Yeah, it's, getting promoted, second half of the season, going, I think it was 9 games, win or unbeaten. Playoffs that was very eventful, very draining after Wembley, and then having 3 weeks off and then straight back in, and then coming into a tough League One. But it's been exciting. I think we've done well so far, just done well. But it's going to be a big 23 for us, definitely. To see where we end up.
I remember you saying after the playoff final that was kind of like your best promotion, whether you've done automatics and such like that. When you get a buzz like that, how does that make you feel about the football club to know that you've been associated with something like that?
Yeah, I've said plenty of times I've never seen it really coming. Probably after 6 months of first signing, I probably thought, well, it could be a long journey at Port Vale, but things change, and you have your good times, your bad times, and then your really good times, that we've had. We've had this season, so we just need to make sure they continue, because I don't want to be going back to the dark days when I was here for them few couple of years.
I was going to say, you and Nathan Smith are like the two old stages in this squad now, because you've been here through most of it. So do you two ever kind of just like reflect on from when it all started to where you're up to now?
Oh yeah, definitely. We always have a little chuckle about things, and then tell a few stories to the lads, and most of them are probably not believable. First 2 or 3 years I was here, you could write a book and it'd be a good seller. But obviously, me and Smudge, we've been through that. We've come out the other side. And it's worth it. Being around for it.
I know. I'd love to say, can you tell us some of them? But I bet you can't. Can
Nah, not a chance.
No chance.
I couldn't. Wait till I retire and I need some money. I might write a book.
But to look at the more immediate side of it, though, as well, like you said, the first half of this season, League One from before. You've known this division now. Is it now, do you reckon, far more tougher than it's ever been?
You have your seasons, like most leagues. Some seasons are strong, some seasons, they're not so strong. But obviously this season in League One, it is very strong with the teams in there, the budgets they have. The players, these League One teams have got championship players who have spent all their careers in there and probably having for 1 or 2 seasons in League One. So it is a really tough league this season. But we've competed, we've held our own, and apart from the last 2 games, Papa John's and Bristol Rovers, and maybe an Exeter away, we've done all right.
When you've had setbacks, though, you've responded. So just tell us a little bit about the mentality that you have as a group, that when you do have a defeat, that what gets you back for the next game and gets you back up and running again.
Comes from the staff. They'll say their piece after the game or the next day we're in training, and then it's forgotten about, and then the game plan's all about the next game, as the staff call it, the next project. And we're massive on that. You forget about the last result and you have to move on to the next one. Especially in this league, in the position we're in, it's not like we're down there fighting for relegation, or we're just mid-table fighting for nothing. We're not too far off the teams above us. So all it takes is 2 wins in a row, 3 wins in a row, and you're probably in the playoffs. That many people might not expect, but we've got to give ourselves a good account, put ourselves in a good position, ready for the Christmas and January break. That's massive.
Is it an ambitious group? It wasn't, when you came up, it wasn't just a matter of staying up. You wanted to go as far as you could.
Yeah, we wanted to see, how high we could finish. We never said, let's get promoted, let's hit playoffs. It's take each game as it comes. But we've done well, and we can see, the playoffs. We're not that far off, but there's still a lot of football to be played. But as long as we're there and thereabouts, and then we have a strong finish, you never know.
What about your own form? Because usual this time of year you end up playing in loads of different positions. So how's this season gone from your perspective and in terms of your own form?
Yeah, look, I know where I'm at. The gaffer knows where I'm at. You know, I'm a fit lad. I always come back every pre-season. I know I'm getting older. But, you know, gaffer plays me as he sees fit, and the gaffer knows I don't have a problem. We can win one weekend and the team's changed. You know, I'm fully on board with that, fully on board with what the gaffer and his staff do. You know, I might not be happy, but it isn't about me. You know, I've realised that at my age now. You know, I've been at clubs. You know, I just love this environment. I love working with the staff and the gaffer. You know, so I can never question his decisions, because most of the times it does work. You know, and you know, if I'm not playing, he's the first one to pull me and let me know. And that's, you know, there's a lot of respect, you know, each way. You know, you can see that, you know, in our relationship we've got, you know, especially with Cross as well. You know, I speak to him a lot. But, you know, you know, when you've got that in football, it's just, for me now, it's, you know, the little things go a long way. You know, the little things this club do for me and my family, you know, I'll always be, you know, grateful for.
It sounds like you've got a pretty close relationship with the manager and the coaching staff as well. Is that, how highly do you value that?
Oh, massive. I'm always learning, you know, I want to be a coach one day, hopefully. So I'm always learning, taking everything in, they say. And it is, they are the best coaching staff and manager, you know, I've worked with. You know, and I've had a few over my career, but it's by far the best. You know, and hopefully, you know, one day, you know, I can be in a position there in, you know, to progress me and stay into football.
And just lastly, this Christmas programme, 3 pretty tough games, against very different opposition as well. How are you looking at that when you look at those 3, as, if you like, as a whole?
I've only looked at Morecambe, you know, at home. I actually have, you know, I'm only thinking of Morecambe. You know, it's a big game for us. We're at home. Looking at it, table should say we should win, but it's not that easy. So, you know, we'll work on the game plan today and tomorrow, and ready to hopefully get 3 points.
Dave, you've just touched on there's really no substitute for playing. You've already alluded to what you might want to progress as and when, but there's no substitute for playing. You want to continue that as long as you can, don't you?
Yeah, as long as I think it's this pre-season, all the fitness tests, you know, I finished, or, you know, was in the top 3. So as long as that continues and my legs are all right, you know, I'll keep going.
Is it about just managing your body as well and knowing when and taking advice from the physios and obviously the fitness coaches, how you go through that particular period?
This is probably the only club where I don't have to manage my body myself. They do it before I even said something. So they'll look at my stats in training and games, and then I can come in the next morning and they'll say, you know, you're indoors today doing a gym session. It's probably the only club where I've never had to voice my opinion on how my body's feeling. You know, they already know before I've come into the building.
And that's great, isn't it, really, from your point of view, because you know what they expect from you, don't you?
Yeah, I think the gaffer knows. I think everyone knows what they're going to get from me. You know, I might not have the best game week in, week out, but I will run as much as I can up and down, you know, and just give it everything I've got.
Moving on to the festive season, you've just touched on it, and you say Morecambe is the most important game, isn't it? Because it's the next one, and you want to get back on track, don't you? Against a side that are struggling, but you can't be any sympathetic towards that, can you?
No, look, we're going to go into the game to win the game. You know, we're not going to go in, you know, try and nick a draw, you know, hang on all game. We're going in on the front foot to win the game, you know, like we have every game at home.
And the support is good, particularly the home game. And it's important you've got a home game on Boxing Day, isn't it, really? Because that really does bring the crowd out. You'll know about the festive season. It's great for football to have that and your home fans behind you on that day.
Yeah, they will do it, you know. It's a big day for the fans, Boxing Day. It's probably the fixtures they look for, Boxing Day and New Year's Day, you know. So we're going to have a good crowd. They're going to be loud as always. And we know they'll back us as long as we give them something to back.